A special thank you to each of our subscribers who make this channel possible. Here's today's story. In a significant development, the Department of Justice has released its first batch of files related to the notorious Jeffrey Epstein, but the release has been marred by a broken search tool and widespread criticism. The files, which include court records, DOJ disclosures, and materials under the Freedom of Information Act, were made public on Friday afternoon, fulfilling a legal obligation. However, the release was only partial, and many documents were redacted nearly in full. Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche has promised that more files will be released in the coming weeks, but the initial release has already sparked controversy. The search bar provided for navigating the documents comes with a disclaimer warning users that due to technical limitations, some materials may not be searchable or may yield unreliable results. Critics have pointed out that the Trump administration has taken its time in releasing these files, with accusations that it was strategically delayed to protect Republican interests. In a statement following the release, a White House spokesperson claimed that the Trump administration is the most transparent in history, citing the release of thousands of pages of documents and cooperation with House Oversight Committee requests. However, this assertion has been met with skepticism, especially given the months of delay and the significant redactions present in the documents. The White House's defense also drew attention to the actions of Democrats, suggesting that figures like Hakeem Jeffries and Stacey Pasquette should explain their connections to Epstein, despite the fact that the release of the files was stalled by Republican leadership. Trump himself has been criticized for his relationship with Epstein, with many questioning his previous statements regarding the files and their release. The situation has raised concerns among lawmakers and the public alike about the level of transparency surrounding the Epstein case and the extent to which the government is willing to disclose information that does not endanger victims. In a related development, Secretary of State Marco Rubio faced backlash for his comments regarding cuts to the U.S. Agency for International Development, USAID. During a press conference, Rubio was asked about his earlier claim that the cuts have not resulted in any deaths. Instead of retracting his statement, he doubled down, expressing pride in the changes made to foreign aid. Rubio announced plans for over 50 health compacts with foreign countries by the end of 2025, aiming to reduce reliance on non-governmental organizations. However, critics highlighted that the cuts to USAID have already had devastating consequences, with estimates suggesting that hundreds of thousands of lives have been lost due to reduced funding for health programs. The ramifications of these cuts are particularly dire for vulnerable populations, including children, in sub-Saharan Africa. Meanwhile, in a surprising twist, Representative Sarah McBride, the first-out transgender member of Congress, took it upon herself to lobby Republican lawmakers to oppose a bill criminalizing gender-affirming care for minors. The bill, spearheaded by MAGA Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene, passed in the House with a narrow margin, and McBride's efforts to secure bipartisan support highlighted the divisions within both parties on transgender rights. The legislation has been met with widespread condemnation from LGBTQ+ advocates, who argue that it undermines the rights and well-being of transgender youth. In a separate but equally controversial move, the Kennedy Center has officially changed its name to include Donald Trump's name, following a vote by its board. Trump expressed surprise at the unanimous decision, despite having publicly suggested the name change himself earlier this year. Legal experts have raised questions about the legality of the name change, as the original name was established by law, and it remains unclear whether Congress would need to pass new legislation for the change to be valid. As the political landscape continues to shift, the Trump administration's focus on vanity projects has drawn criticism, particularly as pressing issues such as unemployment and rising costs of living persist. An AP&ORC poll revealed that many Americans are struggling to afford basic necessities, raising concerns about the administration's priorities. In light of the partial release of the Epstein files, top Democrats in Congress are threatening legal action against the Justice Department for failing to meet the deadline for full disclosure. Representatives Robert Garcia and Jamie Raskin have stated that they are exploring all legal options to ensure that survivors of Epstein's abuse receive the justice they deserve and that the American public is granted full transparency. As the situation develops, the implications of these political maneuvers and decisions remain to be seen, But it is clear that the Epstein case continues to cast a long shadow over the current administration and its handling of sensitive issues. That's all for this story. We upload videos every day covering many different subjects, so hit that subscribe button to stay informed. Thanks for watching.